Closed captioning for the Casey Malone Show is sponsored by Hunter Stevens Land Title Agency. Integrity, service, and commitment you can trust.
Oh yeah, Casey Malone is serving up local. It's time for the stories of our region, the tastes, the sights, the sounds, and the people in and around the valley. Get ready for some local flavor on the Casey Malone Show.
Today we visit Brandt's Apple Orchard in Ashtabula. And I make a Greek sheet pan dinner with chicken thighs. It is delicious. But first, a visit to the Biker Brew House in Austintown. I'm at Biker Brew House with the owner, Larry Wilson. And boy, does this guy have some stories. I mean, how you came to be a brewer and the owner of the brew house is just fascinating. And of course, this is the only one that's even affiliated with a Harley in the whole United States of America.
Yeah, we're actually attached to it now.
Right.
We're not affiliated with the brand, but
right.
We are the only one attached to a Harley Davidson dealership.
And it started as when you were in sales over there.
Correct.
And then you said, "Hey, I got this great idea."
Yeah.
And then it just grew from there, and now you've got like a little empire going on here with Biker Brew House.
It's small, but it's getting there.
It's a little country, but it will grow.
Yeah.
But I cannot believe how far you've come in, 7 years?
Yeah. It definitely has its challenges, but it also has its rewards.
And I found it hard to believe that you were really only brewing like a year or so before you started this as a commercial venture.
Yes. The first couple batches were
Little rough.
all right. They were rough. It was getting to know the whole process because my background is not in this world.
Right.
My background was a home builder.
Construction.
So, yeah, construction.
Crazy.
Yeah. So I'm the type of person that I put my mind to anything, and I will not. Failure is no option. Put it that way.
Exactly.
Right. So when I started brewing, it was like by the third batch, I was bringing it in for everybody to be guinea pigs to say, "Hey, what do you think of this? What do you think of that?"
And what was your first successful one? Which one really put you on the map?
Push rod.
The push rod.
Yep.
And what sets this apart from other beers?
It's a good pale ale, and that's...
Wow, it is. And then you do the Kolsch. That's got to be really popular because it's more of what we're used to.
Yeah, and the Kolsch is not just your standard Kolsch. We use orange blossom honey in that. So it's a honey Kolsch, so it gives it that nice, subtle flavor on the backside of it.
But I noticed when we were in the back, the barrels in that, and you get that, from a maple producer, up in
Montville in Ashtabula County.
Wow.
Yeah, seldom seen farms up there. He does an awesome job. Gets all his barrels from Kentucky and then ages his maple syrup in those barrels. And let me tell you, if you've not had a bourbon maple syrup, it is to die for.
I'm sure it is. So you really have a lot of balls. You got the blue balls.
Right.
You've got the melon balls.
Yeah.
You've got the cotton balls.
Right.
And there seems to be a little theme there. And I think that's pretty clever. You play off that stuff, huh?
Oh, absolutely.
With the blueberries, the melons, and
Yeah.
then, honestly, you can't believe this. It actually tastes like cotton candy, but not in a sickening way.
Right.
It's weird, but it's really good.
We all drink with our nose first.
Right.
So when that glass comes to your mouth, it smells like fresh spun cotton candy.
It does.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then even the blueberry, it
Yeah.
does hit you first. How popular are these in the summertime? These have
Summertime,
gotta be-
they're selling like crazy. At 4.7%.
Exactly. And that's another nice thing. You don't have any of these crazy high ABVs.
Correct.
So they're all really sessionable. Love that
Yes.
term. You design all these labels.
I do.
So in brewing, you're also a graphic artist?
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
No.
So how do you do this? I mean, these are really beautiful labels.
Self-taught on Adobe Illustrator.
Did you design your logo too?
Yes.
You are really, you're a Renaissance man.
Well, thank you. The one we have that's going to be released next month is American Pie. American Pie is an apple pie ale, and we get all our cider from Haas Cider.
Wow, Haas, they do a nice job
He
out
does
there.
a great job.
Yeah.
Love that guy down there. He
Nice.
knows what he's doing.
How does your distribution work? Because you're in how many places now?
We're in 150 locations right now. We're self-distributing. So I'm the delivery driver as well. We have an awesome staff that's behind me. Otherwise, this wouldn't happen. But these girls are amazing. Aaron in the food truck is awesome. He prepares the food. I have an awesome buddy, Tim King. I know you know him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you have to listen to him, and he is the reason for the success behind the food.
Really?
Yeah.
No, Tim King's awesome.
Yeah.
So this is where all the magic happens.
Absolutely.
I mean, this place, I cannot believe how many tanks you have.
Yeah.
And that is the coolest thing. Where'd you get that?
Okay, so when the Harley Davidson dealership rebranded back to Youngstown Harley, it used to be called Bike Town.
Oh, that's right. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
so they were taking the sign off the side of the building, and I said, "What are you doing with that?" They said, "Oh, we're throwing it away." I said, "No, you're
No,
not."
you're not.
I took the bike out of Bike Town, and I took the R out of Harley, and here we go, biker.
How much are you putting through here? Like on a daily basis? Like this is huge.
Well, that's a 10-barrel bright tank. Currently in that tank is 12 barrels of American Pie.
American, we're getting ready. And then all of these barrels. So we've got the Danny Green, which is
Yes.
so clever. And then we've got the Motorhead Maple. And how long do these have to sit in the barrel before you can?
We typically go 6 months. We age them in the barrel.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's the most popular of these?
Of these,
Yeah.
both of them.
They really go.
Yeah, both of them.
And they're pretty limited then. And once they're gone, they're gone.
Correct. Yeah,
So-
we fill 3 barrels at a time. That's a 5-barrel batch, which is equivalent of this size tank. So it takes this much volume to fill 3 of these 53-gallon barrels. And once those are gone, then that batch is gone, because as with barrel aging,
Right.
every beer has its own personality because each barrel is different.
So different.
Yeah. So that's kind of our mentality when I
Right.
designed the brewery, was that I wanted the ability to move all these different, because as you could see on our tap room, we have so many different flavors that we
I mean,
offer.
that's a lot.
Yeah. And being that we're small batch like this, we're constantly turning, so that means that it's always fresh. We have a bunch of appetizers on the menu as well. We have cheese curds.
Right.
We have fried mushrooms. We have fried pickles. Who
Of
doesn't
course.
love a fried pickle, right?
Exactly. And that's going to be my next suggestion. Got to do something with pickle beer.
Yeah.
You know? I
Yeah.
think everybody loves pickles. Now they're like on pizzas. They're like,
Right.
Maybe you could do, some kind of sour with the pickle.
Yeah.
Let me know.
That would be- I will.
Pickleballs.
Pickleball. We will give you credit for that. Pickleball, right? Yeah.
Okay, that's my first free one.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, so everybody says, since we have this whole ball line, right?
Exactly.
We have all the balls.
You've got them all.
Right?
Got big balls, little balls, you got all the balls.
Kamara Jewelers is the place to buy an engagement ring because we want a relationship with you that lasts a lifetime. Your commitment with her is the same commitment we have to you.
We want to sit down with you and teach you about diamonds, so you're educated on what you're buying. We have the largest selection we ever have, which is the largest in the area, and at the best value. And if it's not something in our case, we could always custom make it. We can make any dream come true.
Get real, get Kamara.
Join the Isle and Purple Cat family. Employment opportunities are available. Given is living. Join the Isle and Purple Cat family. Employment opportunities are available at $13 an hour. Given is living.
Rulli Brothers has a great choice of quality cheeses. We use our relationship with Old World Houses to specially select the product and then have it custom cut and packaged by our own local artisans. At Rulli Brothers Market, our family is in the store.
Locally sourced is good, whether it's ingredients or a bank. And that's why my bank is Farmers National Bank. Since 1887, Farmers has remained rock solid through every economic condition. Having a bank with a history of safety, soundness, and conservative management is a must. It all boils down to this. You need a bank that will help you reach your goals. I do too. And Farmers is mine. Farmers National Bank, rock solid. You are really going to love the recipe I'm about to make, and it is super easy. It does have a lot of ingredients, but they all go on the sheet pan. A lot of people make these sheet pan dinners, and I've been messing around with it, but I really like this one. It is Greek sheet pan chicken thighs. And once you throw it together and stick it in the oven, it is done. And then you serve it. It's good for 5-6 people. And let's go over the ingredients and let's get making this, because I think you're really going to like it. For this recipe, you'll need 1/2 cup of extra virgin olive oil, 1 lemon juiced and zested, 7 cloves of garlic chopped, 2 teaspoons of fresh oregano, 2 teaspoons of fresh thyme, 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard, 1 teaspoon of salt and ground black pepper, 6 chicken thighs, bone in, skin on, 1 zucchini cut into coins, 1 red pepper cut into 1-inch slices, 1 green pepper cut into 1-inch slices, 1 red onion thinly sliced, then halved, 1/2 cup of Kalamata olives, 1/2 cup of crumbled feta cheese, and chopped parsley for garnish. I know it looks like a lot of ingredients, but most of these things you have in your pantry. And if you don't have the fresh thyme and fresh oregano, you could use dried. But what we're gonna do first is get the marinade going. So I have the olive oil, the lemon juice, I have the garlic, which is so important. Now remember, this is all adjustable. You don't like something, you like something. The salt and the pepper, the mustard, which I think is very important, because what we got to do is marinate this chicken for just a little bit. It's only going to be about 20 minutes. And then we'll get the rest of it assembled. And then the lemon zest, which is super important because it really adds a punch. And you know, a lot of the Greek dishes really do use a lot of lemons. And then we have the oregano and the thyme. So we are just gonna mix this together really well, get it emulsified. And it's all chunky and good and filled with all kinds of stuff. Oh, jumping out of the container. That's it. So what we're gonna do is, you could use a pan, or I'm just gonna use a big sealable bag here. Put the thighs in. I really like thighs. They are juicier. I know a lot of people are not fans. They like the breasts, but I think this really is a good dish for thighs. You're gonna have to adjust it just a little bit if you wanna use chicken breasts. Okay, I'm only gonna use half the marinade. All right. And then I'm just gonna seal this in the bag and mix it around really good. And let all those flavors come together. All right. So we'll just set this aside. It's only gonna be for about 15 minutes. So these could sit out. You don't have to worry about sticking them back in the fridge. And now we are going to do our next part. See how easy this is? I'm using one of my old pans because we're cooking in it. I don't use the good ones because those are for cookies and stuff. And now what we do is just dump all these vegetables onto the pan. All right? Tomatoes, the onion, and all the peppers. Now look how beautiful this is, okay? So we're gonna mix these up, and now I'm going to take the rest of the marinade and pour this over, and then mix it all up. And when you do this, be conscious of, you know, what the slices. You want all the zucchini and the peppers to be about the same width or thickness, because you want it to cook evenly when it's in the oven. Now the oven is already being preheated to 450. That's important because this is a pretty quick dish. Well, it's been about 20 minutes. So now the thighs are nice and marinated. We'll open them up, and all we're gonna do is just nestle them into the vegetables. And we'll just The skin came off of that one. I love the skin, gotta have the skin. We'll get these all nestled in and 30 minutes in the oven at 450. Oh, that looks really good, doesn't it? It's beautiful. The thighs are crisping up nicely. Now we're just gonna do a little addition. The feta, we'll put that all over and scatter that throughout. And our olives. Oh, I love these. And we are gonna pop this back in the oven for another 15 or 20 minutes. Just make sure we check to make sure the chicken is brought up to 165. Well, the final step is just, doesn't parsley make everything better?
It does.
Full disclosure, you ready?
I'm ready.
Full disclosure?
Should you gonna tell everybody?
I'll tell everybody. Jelaine doesn't really like chicken thighs, but I think I'm gonna give you a little one.
All right.
And I think you are going to be a new fan. And I do think, think about it, but I have some basmati on the side just because you need a little starch with all these veggies. Let me serve a little bit for myself. Oh, I meant to take a picture of it because it was so pretty. Oh, wow. Really? Now, did you taste the chicken yet?
No, I will try that right now.
In honor of this, I've got a really nice wine. This is Chilean. It is called Sierra Batuca. It is a Chardonnay. And I'll tell you, Chilean wines are always such a great value. All right, so I'm going to dig into my chicken first and see how that is.
It's very good, Casey.
Really? Mm-hmm. She doesn't like the dark meat. But isn't that really
It's very good.
Moist, delicious, juicy?
And I'll tell you what, I snuck a taste of this.
Of what?
The vegetables. They are great.
Your family's gonna love this. Put a little rice on the side. Go to my website, CaseyMaloneShow.com, and look for the Greek sheet pan chicken thighs. Even Jelaine liked it.
I love it.
All right?
Now let's do it again.
Cheers.
Rulli Brothers is way ahead of the competition. Check out Rulli Spice World, where you can buy bulk herbs and spices, plus candies, nuts, and fillings for pennies on the dollar. At Rulli Brothers Market, our family is in the store.
I'm Elizabeth Bernard. For more than 30 years, I've provided our Valley with sound legal advice. My associate Jennifer Righetti and I will be your legal representatives if you're involved in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident. Don't try to handle it yourself. We'll navigate the red tape of dealing with doctors, medical insurance, and all the obstacles that you'll face. Remember, there are no upfront fees on personal injury cases, and hiring a lawyer does not mean you have to go to court.
Call attorney Elizabeth Bernard, local legal experience for more than 30 years.
It's happening now. Construction is underway at GabaCamp, a year-round destination for adults with disabilities and their families to get away, close to home, accessible to all, with no barriers. Donate now to GabaCamp. Giving is living.
Well, there are many draws here at Brandt's Apple Farm, but let me tell you, the donuts are one of them. Made on site, these are their apple cider donuts. Ugh, delicious. I'm having the one with the cinnamon sugar. But this really is an experience. We are gonna go out into the orchards. I'm gonna take a little hayride. We're also gonna learn how to pick apples, and we're just gonna tour this wonderful facility.
Can anybody guess how many trees are out here? Any number. Pick a number.
We have a 45, yes.
45? Getting closer.
4,200.
Perfect. There's about 4,200 apple trees out here. That is a number they gave me.
So, the variety that we're going to talk about today and that we're going to pick are Empire apples, okay? Everybody turn around, wave to the hay wagon. This one's red and this one is green. Not red and green, right. So, these are the same variety of apple, okay? There's a natural spot on the stem between the apple and the apple bud that's supposed to break free. Keeps the stem in the apple and it keeps the bud on the tree, so that bud will produce fruit next year. An apple bud will produce fruit about 8 to 10 years before it will not produce fruit anymore. Go out and take your hand like you're lifting up something that's very delicate, and you lift it up in the air and then you roll it over the branch. If I'm going to pick this guy right here, I'm going to come up, lift, roll it up, and it magically just pops right off.
And then he said, all I got to do is hold it and then bring it over.
That was
and
pretty
there
good.
It goes. Right there. See?
This apple bin was full this morning, full of apples. It went in this float tank over there. So as I'm speaking, you can look at the pictures behind you. Well, the apples have been outside all summer and they haven't had a bath. So they're going to go in this float tank and they're going to take a bath. They're going to ride this conveyor belt. They're going to go in this washer and they get all scrubbed up, okay? They get dried in the dryer, and after they go through the dryer, like an apple like this is big enough, okay? It's going to ride the chain and it's going to end up on that table down there that spins around. I'll show you there in a minute. So that way we don't have to touch every single apple. That's going to automatically sort them by size, okay? This cider press is what we used to use to make cider. We don't anymore. But this cider press was built in 1895, so if you do your math, that's over 130 years old. Press out all the juice from all the apples, and it would collect on this table until it got to a certain level, and then there's plugs on the table. Whoop. We pull a plug, it goes out, it goes into a holding tank, and then it would be sent to our jugger. And so since we don't use this anymore, this is our new press right here. As you can see, it's a tad bit smaller. And it's a tad more mobile, okay? So when we decide to make cider, we'll move it out of this room into another area.
This is where our bakery used to be until we expanded, so this is now our cash register area. So we have lots of different products that are apple related, syrups and just apple crisp mix, apple butter, local honey.
And then how many varieties do you sell at one time in the store?
Well, in total we have 27 varieties, but it just depends on when they come in. So, in the beginning we only have like 2 varieties that first, week that we're open, but as the apples are ready, they come in. So people ask, why don't you have Macintosh all the time? Once they're sold out, they're sold out.
They're sold out.
And then we also have Asian pears. So right now, the Asian pear that we have is the Chidora, and we have 3 varieties of Asian pears. So it bites like an apple, but it tastes like a pear. As far as donuts go, we make a ton of donuts. Our famous donut is our apple cider donut. We will do a variety of different ones. We'll do like blueberry, cherry, pumpkin. We glaze them. We might make today's special snickerdoodle. So we have so many different varieties of donuts that we do make. We're making caramel apples.
Wow, are you a professional?
I am today.
Now, Jen, you aren't a brand.
I'm not a brand, no.
What made you and your husband, Brian, buy from the brand apples?
Well, my husband actually grew up in this area. I actually grew up in the Canfield, Boardman area or whatever, but we would come out here on dates. We would take our kids when they were younger,
Yeah.
and then when it went up for sale, we thought, you know, we've got to keep this in the community. So we thought it would be a good business adventure. I'm a physical therapist; he's an engineer.
I know.
So it doesn't make any sense that we would buy an apple orchard, but we did, and we're glad we did because I mean we have grown this business over the last 8 years. So
I mean, for young and old, I mean, there is really something for everybody here. And you have such a limited season, right?
we do. We're only open August through November, so I mean it's only a couple months. So this is our season. I mean this is it.
And
it's
I
only in
mean,
the
you are
fall, yeah.
jamming.
We
This
are.
is awesome. And you know what? If your first time here, what do you think one of your top products is that you produce, other than the apple itself?
Well, the apple cider donuts, basically. That's our top thing, and then our apple cider slushy. So those would be the two things that if you were to come out here, you have to at least get a donut and a slushy. Yeah.
Well, I'm telling you, you have a limited season, but I mean, this place is really amazing, and I can't thank you enough for the tour. I mean,
Thank you.
You have everything. This is like so picturesque. It's like very romantic.
Thank you. Yeah, we love to see the families come out. I mean, it's just nice to see smiling faces and kids laughing and kids feeding the fish in our pond and, you know, picking apples, and just nice to see families get together, basically. And that's what I enjoy the most.
The Casey Malone Show is sponsored in part by Denise and John York and the DeBartolo Corporation.